Fighting games are in the anticipatory period.
Yes.
Because Street Fighter, with Garo 2, we are getting, we're getting to those final roster spots. You can tell. And there's a little bit of like, oh, who's them last one's gonna be?
I'm still waiting for them to announce that Dongquan is DLC, so that the circle completes. Like, if they announce that Dongquan is DLC for Garo 2, I will personally actually write to Harada on Twitter and ask him to make Lee Chaolan DLC for Tekken 9. Because at this point, he might as fucking well.
Yeah. They know how to pick your boys. It's crazy. So Garo 2, we're reaching them final spaces. Street Fighter, it is in the period of that Terry trailer is coming soon. Just around the corner. And when we get that Terry trailer, odds are Terry himself ain't going to be far behind. And, everybody's damn curious what the hell Terry's going to look like in Street Fighter. Because, my God, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Mortal Kombat's in the period of like, well, they announced the big expansion everybody was anticipating, and they've shown off a little bit of Cyrax, of Sector and Noob. They've actually shown a lot of Cyrax now, and as I said in the fighting game thread, Cyrax be Cyraxing.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. And we don't even know what the crossover characters are going to look like because they're going to come a little bit later. So it's a lot of like, we don't have a lot of super big news to talk about because we're in that phase of like the big news is around the corner.
Yeah, it's going to be at Gamescom, of course.
Yeah. I mean, they did show both Preacher and Cyrax were shown this past week, but like, I dabble in Joe Higashi. When I was a kid, I thought Cyrax was a cool character to try. As an adult, I don't play Joe Higashi very much, and I look at Cyrax and say, that's a character for a better Mortal Kombat player than me. So, has there been anything in particular you wanted to hit, Addy?
Well, one of the news that we forgot about, that I memed on immediately, was Capcom. Actually, they say Capcom says, actually, it's the if memory serves, it's the guy, one of the guys headlining Street Fighter 6, one of the directors for Street Fighter 6, saying that they want to bring every Capcom fighting game that they can to modern consoles. And
yes, which is an interesting thing to say, because there ain't a whole lot left that they haven't ported.
I mean, there's Power Stone 1 and 2, there's Plasma Sword and Star Gladiator, there's Rival Schools, both of them. There's, let's see,
JoJo.
What else? They can't do JoJo. I'd love if they did JoJo, but there's, like, it's one of those things where, like, fuck you, we like to use Akuma, Bandai, let us release JoJo again. Like, that's the only way that I can think that they might make it work.
Yeah, Bamco is the problem there. But other than Power Stone, Rival Schools, Plasma Sword, JoJo, what else is there?
I'm trying to think.
Because they've done Red Earth, they've done Cyberbots, they've done Darkstalkers, they've done Street Fighter, they've done Marvel.
Wait, the actual,
which feels crazy to say.
Actually, that doesn't. The image that they used for this article, is actually two games that we didn't talk about: CVS and the EX series.
Oh boy, those are also interesting because those are both also like JoJo's requiring some other company to agree to it.
Yeah, I mean,
getting SNK to agree to a CVS collection is no problem.
Yeah, getting SNK are currently begging for a CVS collection, and Capcom can just go, yo, or can we release Street Fighter EX, and they go, yeah.
Eureka. I don't see Eureka being a big problem though. Eureka, they could maybe tie into the old Bamco, right? Because Eureka has been more or less just kind of doing tech work for Bamco for a minute, haven't they?
Yeah, Eureka have been doing tech work with Bamco, but also, like, Eureka's like big main IP is also literally the EX series, so Like
Yeah.
just with the serial number filed off, and Capcom still considers them canon. So Capcom probably genuinely can just go, you or Rico can really use the characters that both of us used to own, and they go, yeah, fine, go ahead.
I mean, realistically speaking, if we want to talk about marketing synergy, imagine next year, Elena has just dropped. Season 3 of Street Fighter 6 gets announced. And, hey, look, Season 3 of Street Fighter 6 will have Skullomania. Ain't that crazy? And wouldn't you know it, we're also releasing the Street Fighter EX collection.
Yeah.
All the Street Fighter EX games. That would be pretty sick.
Yeah.
And that would be good synergy. Because people are going to go, there's going to be a lot of people going, who the fuck is Skullomania?
And why is he the
That's
best?
what I'm asking.
So Skullomania, Pink, is a Japanese luchador / superhero. So Street Fighter EX was where they hired the guy who made Street Fighter 1. The gentleman who, his name is Akira, but his company, his dev studio that he heads, he named his own name backwards, so it's Arika. But he got brought back to bring Street Fighter into 3D on the late, what was the generation of PS1 and N64? Was that 5th generation? And on the late 5th gen, he was brought in to make Street Fighter EX and bring Street Fighter into 3D. And he also made a lot of new characters that did not fit Street Fighter's aesthetic at all. But the most popular of them by far was Skullomania, who is a Japanese salaryman who moonlights as a superhero / skeleton-themed luchador. And he's very delightfully silly. And he's also a very fun character to play because he's kind of a brutal mix-up character.
Skullomania is La Parka if La Parka was half the size.
Yeah,
I like it.
If La Parka had a physique comparable to Sami Zayn,
Nah.
but shorter, which I mean, granted, Sami Zayn, you don't think of Sami Zayn as a tall guy, but you compare Sami Zayn to a normal human being instead of a wrestler. Sami is actually a fairly tall guy.
Yeah.
But nonetheless. So the thing is, we've not seen the Street Fighter EX characters in Street Fighter proper in 20 years because they don't belong to Capcom. They belong to Arika. I don't know why that agreement was made. I don't know why they would set up something screwy like that.
That's the thing, though. They didn't. So what happened was the characters used to be the characters used to be co-owned by Arika and Capcom, and like throughout the years, Capcom just went, you know what, Arika, it's on us. You can have Doctrine Dark and Skullomania and Crackerjack and whoever else. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, well, there was that alone, that trio you mentioned. It's like, okay, Doctrine Dark, I don't think could fit into Street Fighter. He just looks too weird. Skullomania and Doctrine Dark, though, are both unique fighting game characters that haven't really been. There's not really any character who's similar to them. Crackerjack, I love Crackerjack. Crackerjack is just Balrog.
Yeah,
he's just Balrog.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely
white.
There's definitely winners and losers in the X series, because, like, you know, you have Darun Meister and Pulumpurna who are fine, and, you know, then you have, like,
I love
Sharon.
Darun Meister, but he's just Zangief.
I haven't played him in a while, so he might be. I don't remember. Pulumpurna, I remember being somewhat unique. Like, she wasn't just Chun-Li or Cammy. She was kind of between the two, if memory serves.
Yeah.
And then, you know, then you have, like, fucking, the guy they had kill Akuma and take his powers.
Oh, yeah, the samurai
Heidi.
dude. He's actually, gameplay-wise, he's actually super weird. He's a very unique design, gameplay-wise.
He didn't used to be a samurai. He used to be a Shoto.
You're not talking about Kairi, are you?
I am, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kairi, okay. I was thinking of, well, not Gogi, because Gogi is the system in the new game, the card deck system. But Geki, I think, something like that.
Geki wasn't in the EX series. He was fighting layer. He was a fighting layer character.
Weird. I thought for certain he was in Street Fighter. I must be referring to a different character then.
Maybe.
Let me look it up. Yeah, I'll look it up just for a moment. Kairi is I like Kairi a lot, but Kairi's an oddball character. He's kind of a Shoto, but realistically speaking, his primary gimmick is a dive kick. I don't know. Sorry, it's just taking me a moment to look up this character's guide. Because that's, there we go, that's the Garuda. That's right, Garuda.
Oh, but Garuda was a completely different dude. Yeah, Garuda is unique.
Yeah, he's like, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't his entire gimmick demon flips?
No. His entire gimmick is spin. In various XCs. He has...
Yeah, I definitely remember that much.
Like, his gimmick is that all of his specials are advancing specials where he spins and he has spikes coming out of his body. And like, you know, in one of them he's a Beyblade, in the other one he's a sideways Beyblade, and he does a Shoryu basically with it. And then he had that, he had those and like teleports and like a spike grab, if memory serves.
So a very intensely rushed down character.
Yes. You will be surprised to find that I play Garuda in the EX series.
I remember that. Yes, I very much remember. It was, we both very much fell into our stereotypes there, where it's like, oh, there's a roster of some weird characters. All right, Addie's gonna play the jump heavy rushdown character, and Alex is gonna play the grounded grappler.
I don't know, because I also played Doctrine Dark a lot. It's just that, like, they in Vexel at least, they gave Doctrine Dark a Shoryuken, which was a big thing, because he used to have a combo that dealt like 20%, and that's it. At least that I know of. Like, he didn't even used to have the Shoryu. The Shoryu was only his Shoryu Reppa Super. That's the only way that you can anti-air with Doctrine. Well, no, you can do an anti-air line, but that has finicky hit detection. But you know, there's no like actual like regular specials. He didn't used to have those. He had line, he had ground line, he had anti-air line, and he had explosive. Those are his 3 moves throughout all of the Street Fighter EX series. And like, I love Doctrine Dark. He's special. But like, it is a thing of like, okay, I like playing as this guy. Also, if the other guy, like, if basically, if I can't play keep away for the entire match, then I am dead. Like weirdly he's both the most rushdown heavy zoner and the most zoning rushdown character that I can think of. Because like, that's the thing. I don't even know what the fuck you're supposed to do with him. He has the line that he can pull people in with for combos and shit. All right, you can detonate people at the end of the line. All right, you can put down the explosive and then pull people into the line, or pull in with the line and hit the explosive with it. Or you can put the explosive down for set play, or just keep away. And none of these do a lot of damage.
So there is a Fighting EX layer guide, very similar to Infilament's guide to Killer Instinct. It's probably the best fighting game guide of all time. The Vexel guide is not quite up to that level, but nonetheless, it is quite good. And it also has a very cool thing where it compares the various characters to other fighting game characters. And I look at Doctrine Dark's page, and it says, similar to Scorpion, Cyrax, Fong from Street Fighter V.
Nice.
And I look and I go, oh no.
You look at that and go, oh, you look at that and you go, oh, it makes sense why Eddie plays this guy now.
Mm-hmm. Let's take Fong and let's make him stinkier.
Well, that's the thing though. Doctrine Dark isn't as stinky as Fong, because Fong has no redeeming qualities. Doctrine Dark, he's cool, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just now looking at the guide, and I am indeed seeing Cyrax and Scorpion shit.
Yeah, I mean, his main gimmick is get over here. But that's the line. The line is just the Scorpion Spear, but you can blow people up with it instead.
Yeah, I'm like... Yeah, I'm seeing the shit, and like it. I'll put the GIF in the chat, because the guide comes with cool little GIFs. If I can. Hang on, can I? Oh, wait, I pressed the wrong button. Silly me. Okay, there we go. Like, he's just putting bombs down for combos. He's putting bombs down as this is going to blow up on you when you get up. He's doing Cyrax shit.
Yeah, he plays similarly, but Fexel made him be able to do a lot more because they have like normal cancel, like easier normal canceling and stuff like that.
I have to wonder. I doubt you would remember this.
Yeah.
But does the bomb hit low?
Yes. But actually,
awesome. So he's got the Injustice Joker tech.
Nice. But
which is like the only tech that Joker has in that game.
The thing though is that he's starting off with this or this gift starts off with his super bomb. So the usual bombs don't give you just like a fucking 50 minutes to do set play, but still.
Because I mean, any character that can set out a low thing like that will be on a delayed hit and allow you to go for an overhead is just, oh, okay, well, we're in dangerous territory here. I've always mentioned it because it's just so funny to me, but like with Injustice, the first Injustice, it says so much about how that game's balance is fucked. That Joker is considered the most bottom tier trash character in the game, when he also has a hypothetical, not true infinite, but a infinitely looping, impossible to guess mix-up.
Yeah. The thing that
and he's trashed here.
Yeah, like the thing that keeps Joker from being good in that game is Martian Manhunter, among other things. But still,
even before Martian Manhunter, it's like, yeah, good luck keeping up with Superman and Aquaman.
Yeah.
Or Deathstroke. And then you get into Injustice 2, and it's like, well, here's Deadshot. And Injustice 2 took like no time for Red Hood to be out there, and he was a problem immediately. I forget who else was a problem in Injustice 2 early on, because of course now Captain Cold's one of those top guys. Because I remember
early on, it was definitely Deadshot, and I think people had a lot of difficulties with Aquaman as well.
Yeah, Aquaman's not got a lot of like, because Deadshot was I'm going to keep you at the other end of the screen, and I'm not going to put any mix-ups on you. I'm just going to keep throwing projectiles and forcing you to block. Aquaman was a very different thing of just relentless aggression, relentless pressure. Aquaman never gets off you.
Yeah.
Black Adam was a problem for a lot of people early on just because he had such a difficult to telegraph low projectile.
Yeah.
But once people figured out, oh, you just block low a bunch, then suddenly Black Adam stopped being a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, those games were weird. All right. Anyways, yeah, so let's get back to the initial thing. Yeah, Capcom, CVS, that would be bonkers. That would sell big money.
Yes, that would sell big money from me. I might buy the game on 3 different platforms. I don't even have a working Xbox, but fuck it. You know?
Yeah, it's one of those funny things of like, we're in a position where it's like, I mean, the Marvel vs. Capcom collection isn't per se as exciting now that we have Fightcade as it would have been, a few years ago when we didn't know about Fightcade. But nonetheless, it's like, yeah, I'm absolutely going to buy it because I want to see more.
Yeah.
I absolutely could pop in, like, Marvel superheroes right now on Fightcade for free, but doing that won't lead to Capcom thinking there's potential for Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
Yeah.
Also, the Marvel vs. Capcom collection version of Marvel superheroes is going to have easily accessible Juggernaut and Doctor Doom, which that is a big difference maker.
Yeah, not only that, but I feel like there's also like a difference in whatchamacallit. Like, I want to say comfort, but that's not the right term, but whatever. Like, there's a convenience, there we go, a difference in convenience between playing games on Fightcade and having these official releases, because, like, with the original, or with the official release, I don't have to, like, I can play online, and then I can go to the arcade mode or training mode, and I don't have to quit out the game, press a separate button, wait for the emulator to load up, and then make sure that my buttons are still assigned.
Yeah, that is a definite problem that Fightcade has.
Like Fightcade is really good, but there are some drawbacks to it just because it's people doing the best with what they can without actually like being official. Official things don't have to worry about shit like this because they have actual they have the ROM. They own the ROM. They can just make adjustments to it to work.
Fightcade also runs into the issue of they can't really recode the game.
Yeah.
So there's little things that weren't like problems at the time of the 90s, but are problems now of, well, the training mode sucks ass, so good luck labbing. And also, if you want a rematch after the first match, most of the arcade games wouldn't let you change characters if you won.
Yeah.
My God, you know what I just realized?
What?
Could you imagine how awkward it would have been that time that you and Mike played Mortal Kombat 2 and Mike had that huge win streak? Could you imagine how awkward it would be if Mortal Kombat had that and Mike was just stuck on fucking Sub-Zero or Liu Kang for 50 matches in a row?
Yeah. I'm still upset that Mortal Kombat 3 didn't break like that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, oh man, I wish this game was made worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I love you, MK3. It's my favorite classic Mortal Kombat. I wish it was worse so I can break it for the funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was really excited that day, and it didn't happen. I'm disappointed we've not found any other games that just inexplicably don't bust on Fightcade. Because, like, I've never heard of Mortal Kombat 2 fucking up like that on an actual cabinet, so that has to be a Fightcade bug. At the same time, like, MK2 is not going to be that big on Fightcade. Generally speaking, if you're going to be playing Classic MK on Fightcade, you're playing UMK3. But nonetheless, like, I've never run into that in any other Fightcade game. Have any of you?
No.
Like, that was just so weird. Nonetheless, yeah, training mode, that's a big difference. Rematch, that's a big difference. Plus, the collections come with cool things like change between the American and Japanese versions of the games, set the difficulty, set whether or not you can easily access some of the secret characters.
Yeah.
And art modes and achievements.
Yeah, except on the Switch, which doesn't get achievements, so it makes me a little bit sad.
Well, I will say Capcom Fighting Collection, the Darkstalkers collection, for all intents and purposes, actually has a little achievement mode built in that keeps track of whether or not you beat an arcade mode with each character in each game.
Oh,
Yeah,
good deal.
Yeah, and the Marvel collection is already confirmed to also have this.
Good deal.
Oh, that's great. So I can like go in and see like, have I beat Marvel superheroes with Captain America or Wolverine or Hulk?
Why would you play as Hulk?
He's on the
Because
roster.
I want to play as a big body zoner who keeps people on the other side of the screen. Gamma wave, gamma wave. Fucking Hulk. Hulk in Marvel is one of the characters that I just cannot figure out. His identity, he just seems weird to me. Like, is he a grappler? Not really. His command grab actually sucks. In Marvel 3, it's all right, but in the games prior to that, it sucked ass. Okay, well, he's got this big projectile that covers the full screen. Is he a zoner? Well, it's a charge input, and the timing isn't super great. It's not exactly a sonic boom, and plus, Marvel games, the characters tend to have a lot of air movement, and he can't do shit about that. Okay, well, he's got big limbs. Is he a footsies character? Nah, not really. He's a weird character, you know?
He's all about that gamma charge.
Yeah. I forget, how is he in Marvel 3?
He's all about that gamma charge. Unironically, every time I fought the CPU Hulk, he's just been charging on the ground. He's been charging in the air. I don't know how he fucking does it, but still, he does.
Oh yeah, Hulk can get gamma charge in the air, yeah.
Okay. then yeah, the AI Hawk has more like how the AI plays Hawk in Marvel 3 is he basically just does set play into his projectile or with the assists, or he just gamma charges and does nothing else.
Yeah, Gamma Wave is a really good assist. I forgot about that. That's one thing that gets really screwed with Marvel is that there are some characters that are just kind of poopy when you actually play them, but they're excellent assists. Like, I love Frank. You guys know I love Frank. Frank is a fucked up nonsense character when he's on point, and half the time that you take Frank, it's not to actually play as Frank, it's to have the grocery cart assist. Dante's pretty similar with Jam Session some days. Okay, I got a weird question. Okay, Addy, I know this is going to be a rough question for you because you don't like the assist mechanic generally, but favorite fighting game assist move?
I can't think of many fighting games I've played that do have the assists, because Marvel 3 and
Marvel 2
and Marvel 1.
Marvel 1 had it real weird where you would have like the assist character whose only point is to be an assist.
Yeah.
And you get that weirdness where it's like there's all these assist characters, but like Colossus is just flatly the best one.
Makes sense.
Which is funny then, because then you go to Marvel 2 where Colossus is a playable character and he's just kind of Why is this a hit grab? Why is my big muscular Russian man not a grappler, not a real grappler? Especially when in Children of the Atom he was a real grappler and he just kind of lost it.
It's messed up.
There's a lot that's messed up with Colossus. It's like Children of the Atom, Colossus is amazing. And like, yeah, that did not stick. Well, I forget. I wasn't there when you guys played Children of the Atom, was I?
No.
Children of the Atom's actually really fun. I certainly think so. What did you guys think of Children of the Atom when you played?
I enjoyed it, but Iceman is stupid.
Iceman's terrible.
I didn't get to play as Akuma, so of course the game sucks. But
What? But you did get Omega Red, and that's the game to get Omega Red in.
I remember while I was playing with Omega Red, Pink went with Storm. We figured out that the Omega Red's suck grab has so much active frames on it that I can fucking hard knock down Pink, put it out immediately, and by the time he wakes up, he's in the grab. And I just spent all of the time that I spent playing as Omega Red going, why the fuck did they design this character like this?
So Omega Red being kind of poopy in the other Marvel games is pretty well entirely because in Children of the Atom he was just fucking nuts.
That's the thing though. Like I think if you watch the video, I go with Omega Red, forgetting that Children of the Atom is the one where he's busted, and then I throw it like a grab and I go, wait a second. Oh no!
Yeah.
What have I done?
Yeah, he can just cover the whole screen and bullshit. He doesn't care. Like, he's a rushdown character, but also he can cover the screen with pollution.
And he has grabs. Real grabs. I think. I forget.
Yeah, that makes sense. Supposedly, Children of the Atom actually has a very similar situation to Marvel 2, where there's the four gods. And shockingly, Iceman isn't one of them. I believe Children of the Atom, the four gods, are Wolverine, Colossus, Omega Red, and Sentinel, as always. Sentinel, God bless him, he's the rocks upon the eternal shore for the Marvel vs. Capcom series.
Yeah. The best part of playing Sentinel, we played a Sentinel mirror match in that video, and we couldn't figure out what the hell he was saying, but every time you do Sentinel Super, he has something like ass. Like that's why the video is titled the way it is, because it sounds like his voice line is getting cut off, but it never plays more than that.
isn't he supposed to be saying air because he's calling in the drones to attack from the air?
No. He's super in that game. Is like doing. He's basically a fucking Shinku Hadouken, more or less.
Oh right, yeah. Sentinel was real weird there. Sentinel wasn't yet like they were still confused about Sentinel's gameplay identity. They're still confused about Sentinel's gameplay identity. That's part of why he's so strong, is because he kind of has a lot of perks of being a big body character, but he's also a zoner?
Yeah.
Question mark? Yeah, now, it's the thing I always love about Marvel 2, The Four Gods. It's like, okay, we got Cable, Storm, Magneto, 3 X-Men icons, Sentinel. Okay, yes, the Sentinel is an iconic baddie, but not one of them in specific. Like, it might as well be like, hey, we got this Avengers fighting game and there's 4 top tiers. It's, Scarlet Witch, Thor, Kang the Conqueror, Hydra Goon. Huh? Oh, boy. All right. Well, was there anything else you wanted to discuss, Addy? Anything you had in the pocket?
Let's see, because I don't remember either.
I do have something I forgot to discuss last time, actually, by the way.
I believe that's it then. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, last time we did FGA, I forgot to talk about Takeda.
Oh.
Correct.
Who?
So, Takeda is the last character of Season 1 of DLC for Mortal Kombat 1. He's Kenchi's kid, except now he's not. Now he's Kenchi's cousin, who is the exiled former student of Scorpion or something like that. I actually haven't looked into his story at all. With a lot of these character story, you have to find it out through like the matchup quotes and stuff, and I just haven't looked into it. But nonetheless, I have played him in gameplay. And it's immediately noticeable that Takeda continues the general trajectory for the OC characters of Season 1 of opening up the move list, and you start scrolling, and you keep scrolling. And it's just like, okay, how much bullshit does this character do?
All of it.
Uh-huh. I will say Takeda's got more of a variety. Comparative to Quan Chi, who was, I have 8,000 different zoning tools, so I'm going to be hitting you from the other side of the screen in about 8,000 different ways, and I'm trying to keep you on your toes. And Ermac was the complete opposite direction of like, I have like nothing I can do at full screen. I'm kind of fucked at full screen. But if I'm at mid screen or close screen, oh, greasing up. Takeda, a little bit more of a balance. He's got some Scorpion stuff. He's got some knife gimmicks that are real weird. So what he's got with the knives is like a kind of discount Cyrax, which is real weird because Cyrax is then the next DLC, a character after him, where he can throw down a bomb knife that doesn't do damage. It just simply gets stuck into the bottom of the stage. And he's also got knives that when he throws are just regular, like, low-hitting projectiles, but if they hit in the area of a bomb knife, they cause the bomb knife to go off, and the bomb knives, when they detonate, behave like Cyrax bombs, where they'll pop the opponent up, allowing for combo stuff. So they can be Oki tools, they can be combo tools, yada, 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 you get the idea. And he can throw these regular knives or bomb knives in the air or on the ground. We're talking that Ibuki shit. But on top of that, he's got Spider-Man web swing.
What?
Which is, yeah, uh-huh. And he's also got a air combo that ends in a grab for big damage. So we got stuff there. We got good normals because he's got big Omega Red tentacles. So, of course, he's got good screen coverage. He can teleport. He has a weird kind of like air kick that arcs downward for an overhead. It's not quite a dive kick because he's not really going down. His leg is swinging down, but he kind of retains horizontal momentum in the air. and you can delay it by holding the button. So he's got that kind of mix-up stuff. And I want to say that if he side switches, if you delay it long enough that he side switches, his kick will still match. So if you hold the kick long enough that you go over the opponent, he'll just side switch, which doesn't really matter because Mortal Kombat doesn't have cross-ups because it uses a block button instead of back to block, but still. So he's got a lot of Oki tools. But the thing that was really weird about the character is that for the first time, we thought this about Baraka and we were wrong. But because it was just a regular normal combo for him. For the first time ever, Takeda has a genuine, honest-to-God Rekka. And it is input the same way that the proper Rekka is on Fei Long. Quarter circle 4, quarter circle 4, quarter circle 4. And it's really weird to be inputting the Rekka input on a Mortal Kombat character in a Mortal Kombat game. And I don't fully understand the implications of it. Because that's weird in a game where, like, Mortal Kombat, everyone has Rekkas in a sense. Because that's how the dial-a combo system is.
Yeah.
So that gets... I mean, that also just means that he's getting like a 6-hit combo just off a basic, normal cancel. So, normal into special cancel. So that's a lot of weirdness going on there. And that makes me really curious for Season 2, because, Addy, did you watch the Cyrax trailer?
Oh, no, I didn't have time. She's
got a lot. It seems like they took the same philosophy with her of like, I don't know, just give her a lot, give her everything. I don't know. And like, it was one of those things where it was verbal assault. And I couldn't keep track. And I can tell you now, well, she's got bombs. But I can't tell you what other moves she's got because there were so many moves in front of me that I honestly just looked at it and went, oh, fuck it. I'm not going to pay attention to what she's doing now. I'll know what she's doing when I get my hands on her.
Yeah.
The fucking the blow of the earth fatality is just a special now.
She won't get that because Cyrax cameo already has it.
All right.
Like, so that's kind of the thing where like several of these characters, it's like, yeah, that's a cool fatality, but they're not going to get it because it's on the cameo. Though you can take Cyrax cameo as Cyrax. Oh, by the way, did I mention that they fixed Cyrax cameo's awkward thing of like having a really bad... So Cyrax as the cameo was really awkward because Cyrax, classically a Mortal Kombat character, his gimmick has always been that he can set bombs on the stage that will go off after a certain time. So Cyrax is a character that requires a lot of skill because there are big rewards if you can get down the timing. And if you can't get down the timing, then you're going to waste a lot of time throwing bombs that aren't going to hit, and you're just going to eat shit. So when they announced, Cyrax is going to be on the cameos, the obvious thing was like, oh, so it's going to be every character gets Cyrax bombs. And in a sense, it was correct, but not really, because what it is rather than Cyrax coming out and throwing down a bomb and leaving, Cyrax comes out, takes a bomb, puts it in his hand, and just stands there. And it became a problem because if the opponent, Cyrax is still standing on the stage, and they behave as assist characters similar to Marvel vs. Capcom. In Marvel vs. Capcom, if an assist spends too long on the stage, they're at a very distinct risk of getting hit. And it was the same with Cyrax, and Cyrax just kept standing on the stage and then getting stick slapped, and as a result, doing nothing. And it was a useless move because there was virtually no odds that the opponent wouldn't just jab to get Cyrax off the screen and resume usual gameplay. Well, the way they fixed that was they made it now where if you hit Cyrax while he's on stage, cameo Cyrax while he's on stage holding the bomb, it just causes the bomb to go off.
Nice.
So the gimmick with Cyrax cameo is honestly put Cyrax out there and he's just going to stand there and wait until somebody hits him and then explode.
I like it.
So the psychology is now entirely changed of don't hit Cyrax unless you're far away and have a projectile, because otherwise he will just blow you up and it gives the other guy a free combo. And it's hilarious because it's honestly It has made Cyrax standing on the stage go from being really derpy, like, Cyrax, dude, just drop the bomb and leave, you dumb asshole, to now making Cyrax look very goofy standing there, because Cyrax is honestly going, yeah, hit me, dickhead, let's do this. I don't give a shit.
Kamikaze style.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about Cyrax is that Cyrax has a teleport move where his limbs all just fly off in different directions and then reassemble elsewhere on the stage. So by all means, like, yeah, you can blow Cyrax up and Cyrax will just put himself back together a few feet over there. Other than that, the only notable thing was that it was confirmed that the new female Cyrax in the new timeline is indeed African. She speaks with an African accent. As explicitly said, she comes from a secretive Lin Kuei sect in, like, the Serengeti or something.
Ah.
Not there.
Which calls to mind two questions. First of all, so Lin Kuei, which is supposed to be like a Chinese organization of ninjas. Yes, Chinese ninjas, Mortal Kombat, what can you do? Apparently, they just been rubbing their dicks all over the place. And they've just had African ninjas for God knows how long. But it also raises the question, Cyrax has been black ever since Deadly Alliance. That was the first time we saw Cyrax out of the suit. Mortal Kombat 3, he debuted Mortal Kombat 3 and he was present in Mortal Kombat 4, but you never saw what his human version looked like. Deadly Alliance, we got to see human Cyrax, and he was black.
No, wait, in Gold, you see Cyrax, either Gold or 4, I forget. Cyrax is ending, you see Cyrax, and he's black.
Really? Let me go back and look at that. I don't remember that, but most of what I remember
Jax gives him a human transplant, and he becomes that's the thing. They don't explain what Jax does to him. He's just on an operating table, and he has a normal human head, and he's black.
Oh shit, that is indeed the case. Well, damn. Okay, so it goes that far back. There you go. Nonetheless, Cyrax has still been presented, though, as an American to this point. To my knowledge, he's spoken with an American accent. So this kind of calls into question, like, was it supposed to be that Cyrax was always African and they just didn't bother having the voice actor do an African accent? I mean, I would assume they weren't at the time, midway at the time of MK4 and Deadly Alliance, wasn't thinking that Cyrax would be African. They were probably thinking he'd be American. But is the implication of MK1 that they are now retroactively saying Cyrax has always been African? Or is it just like, oh, well, this is just another one of the things that's changed in Liu Kang's timeline? Is that Liu Kang, not only for one thing, looked at Cyrax and was like, hey, man, you know what'd be cool? You had a vagina and boobs. And also, if you're African.
Yeah.
And Cyrax is just down there like, what? And Liu Kang waves his hands.
Liu Kang, I'm imagining Liu Kang is saying these to Cyrax, and he's trying to be helpful and supportive and all that. He's trying to understand, but he's still being racist. He thinks that he thinks that African American people actually came from Africa, directly.
Yeah. He saw what Jax did in his timeline where he got the hourglass, and Liu Kang was like, so this is the desire.
Yeah.
Jax shows up in Mortal Kombat 2 or 13 or whatever, and he just does the Wakanda Forever pose. And Lou is patting himself on the back. I did it.
I've solved racism.
Cody Rhodes' face on the moon, smiling down.
Adrenaline in my soul. Liu Kang is now Cody Rhodes.
Whoa! Or no, instead of whoa, it's some kind of fucking Liu Kang bicycle kick noise.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Man, that freaked my shit the other day when I was on Twitter. It was getting popular, that clip of that anime over in Japan. As opposed to the other animes. Which, had it was just some anime of like two little, cutesy girls or whatever playing Mortal Kombat 2, and the characters in the anime are trying to figure out what the hell Raiden is saying. And it freaked me out because it's like, I've heard for years that, Japan generally doesn't rate Mortal Kombat, and they usually view it as a joke. So in my head, it's kind of like, yeah, I just don't expect to ever see Japanese people ever talk about Mortal Kombat at all. Or if I do expect them to talk about it, it's just going to be them saying it's kind of crap. So it very much caught me off guard to not only see the anime where they're talking about it, but an anime where the characters in the show are talking about Mortal Kombat the same way that Mortal Kombat fans in the West do, which is with conversations like, what the fuck is Raiden saying?
Yeah. No one beats Sub-Zero.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. See, the thing is, that's not the only relation of old Walter White to fighting games, though.
Yeah, he's in multiverses. Anytime now.
Well, that'd be great, but do you remember Walter White is Fei Long?
Is he?
So the Street Fighter 2 animated movie, there's the one that everybody loves, that has the Chun-Li shower scene and has the kick-ass fight scenes and has the soundtrack that's got Alice in Chains and KMFDM. That fucking weirdo movie that was so fucking badass that Capcom was like, yeah, we're going to entirely redesign Street Fighter Alpha to look more like this. So in that movie, Fei Long is voiced by Bryan Cranston.
Ah.
And it's really trippy to go back and see it, because it's honest to God Walter White going, Ryu, I think you've done an admirable job. Ken's a good fighter too, but that M. Bison, he's very sinister, and you can tell it's Bryan Cranston, and you're expecting Fei Long at any point to just go, I am the one who knocks.
I am the one who doesn't return to the roster because he's from Hong Kong. And then he just, and then he like fucking cross dissolves out of the scene.
Say my name. Redacted. You're goddamn right.
Yeah. His cell floats up on the screen. You can see like the fucking the production number of the animation cell of him standing.
Fei Long fades out of the shot. There's still Bryan Cranston underneath. He's apparently CG'd in. They also then have to take a separate animation cell of him out of this frame.
Yeah. Ryu just goes, that was trippy. I wish he'd stop doing that.
He just looks up horrified, his mouth gaping. Oh, shit. I feel like there's something else there. I feel like there's some other Breaking Bad fighting game connection, and I'm struggling to recall it. Because, of course, Jesse's playing all those video games, but he's usually playing Rage, I think, is what he plays a lot in Breaking Bad. Because 2011, yeah, sure, Rage, we'll go with that.
I don't even know what that is.
The John Carmack, the boring but technically impressive guy that worked on the original Dooms. Rage was supposed to be his big baby, and very technically impressive game for the Xbox 360, as in keeping with John Carmack's patterns at the time. Very uninspiring aesthetic and gameplay, also keeping in pattern with John Carmack.
Yeah.
John Carmack is famously the one who Adrian, I forget his last name, but the guy who did the story for Doom did a lot more story than we saw for the first couple Doom games. And John Carmack told him to cut it down because he said, story in video games is like story in porn. You expect it to be there, but you don't expect it to be good and you don't care about it. And for like a decade at least, he kept that up, and I don't think you'll see him saying that anymore, but
No.
it's still something that people consistently mock him for. He's also some variety of high-functioning sociopath, I believe.
Oh.
Like, before he
In
worked
keeping with
on Doom. In keeping with Doom, yes. Before he worked on Doom, before he was at id, he busted into like his high school or college's science lab after hours using thermite to get through the door lock.
You know what
And
you do?
And when the cops arrested him afterwards, they explicitly said, this kid is either going to grow up to be incredibly successful or a serial killer. Let's hope for incredibly successful. Luckily, he made Doom and didn't make a series of corpses.
That we know
That
of.
we know of.
Oh, you know what? He also made the VR system that Apple owns now. I think Apple owns it now. Either which way. It's like the first one to really get a name. The first VR system to really.
The Oculus.
Oculus? Yeah.
Oculus. He made Oculus and then sold it like within the first few years. He cashed out.
Apple doesn't own that. That's Facebook. Facebook owns Oculus.
Oh, well, Apple and Facebook are pretty well the same in my head half the time. They're both blue.
This is true.
They're both run by lizards.
This is very true.
I don't know. Fucking Jobs is dead as far as we know.
As far as we know.
He's not dead, he just molted.
Yeah.
They buried the shed skin. Oh man, there was a shed snake skin under my windowsill, by the way. That is not a pleasant thing to see. Because that is a thing of like, oh boy, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
It's bigger.
Let's pray it moved on to the neighbors.
Yeah. Even if it didn't, I'll just throw it over to the other side. It's their problem.
Do it like, have you ever seen how dogs deal with snakes?
No.
Yeah, they just pick them up and then chuck them away, don't they?
Yeah, dogs grab the snake by its rear end and will just whip it with their neck.
Whip it real good.
One of my favorite videos I've ever seen one of my favorite videos I've ever seen on the internet was some guy was walking with his black Labrador through a cornfield, and there was a snake in front of him, so he gets his phone out and starts recording it like, man, look at that. That's great. But be careful, lassie. And this lassie sprints into frame and in one fluid motion bends over, grabs the far end of the snake's tail, whips her head from left to right, and midway through the whipping of the head, releases, and the snake flies into, I swear to God, the horizon. Because a snake's pretty aerodynamic when you throw it.
Yeah.
And the thing spins through the air like a goddamn boomerang off into like the horizon. And that's like, it was one of the most hysterical videos I've ever seen. A living organism is not usually meant to be thrown like that.
Yeah. I mean, imagine being the snake.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. If a snake could get motion sickness, imagine that snake hurling through the air. Like that. I need to find if there's a GIF of it. Okay, I googled snake throw and I found a bird throwing a snake at a person, which is very different.
Yeah, you don't want to piss off like honestly anything smaller than like a pigeon, because they can figure shit out. Like, hey, here's a weapon crawling on the ground. I can use this.
Yeah,
Weapon crawling on the ground.
yeah, the Discord GIF searches provided no results. It was like, oh, here's Macho Man getting bit by Damien. Like, no.
Not quite.
I put in snake throw. Fuck it, I'll just put in I'll just give you guys this so it's not entirely disappointing. Here you go. It doesn't even really look like the bird's being aggressive. It honestly looks like the bird was providing a taxi service. That snake just used fast travel. Oh, there's also this, which is terrifying, but also badass. So here.
Ah.
Like, on one hand, that's goddamn terrifying. On the other hand, that lady was not taking that snake's bullshit.
That's just Steve. He does this every couple of years.
Like that.
Like she has an ongoing feud with the snake.
The way she puts it in, like, she puts it in the supervillain chokehold where the supervillain lifts up the hero.
Yeah, the thing that we can't hear because it's a GIF is that she's doing the cackle too.
Yeah. Behold the error of your ways, hero. Well, okay, do you remember a decade ago?
I get it. The GIF. I was wondering why the snake was going that fast with its head high up in the air, and I realized with the shadow on the ground, the guy's got it on a fishing line.
Oh, you know what? That would make sense. Because I was looking at it and I was like, well, for one thing, it's not really slithering.
Right?
For another thing, you hear there's snakes that are called racers because they're lightning fast. But no snake I have ever heard of has honestly just seen a human on the other side of the field and went, man, fuck that human. There are snakes that are territorial, but not like that. Like, they wait for a human to get closer before they say, hey, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, in my own personal experience with snakes, like, I have never in my life seen a snake honestly just go, man, fuck that guy. Every snake, like, the one snake I've pissed off was because my dog honestly went up and smelled the snake's face, and I didn't realize it was a snake until he was there. And otherwise, like, the only other time I've been that close to a snake was when it was thoroughly wounded by a lawnmower and very much wanted to not be close to me. That snake wanted to be somewhere else at that point, understandably.
Preferably not close to a lawnmower.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had a shovel, so I wasn't that preferable of an option either. That poor snake got tag teamed. Had to go. We had dogs.
Shouldn't have pissed off Snake that long.
Yeah. There's a snake out there with a mustache and glasses and a bald head that's shaped like an egg. Oh, shit. All right. Yeah. There, you know, it's been a minute since they've announced anything for the Dragon Ball game.
Yeah, they've been. Bemco has been too busy promoting their Bleach fighting game and translating all of the terms so that it makes sense to no one. Genuinely, I think like I haven't watched any of the character trailers since the Ichigo one. But in Ichigo one, I watched it like 3 times, and I think I discerned that what they were doing. The reason I didn't understand, like half of that 1 minute videos, like voiceover, is because they took the terms that made sense in Japanese. They didn't and didn't use to translate, and then translated them, so now they don't make sense. Because like it's one thing when you see Ichigo go do his Bankai, and then he says Bankai. And you go, yes, he's doing his Bankai. And it's a different thing when they go, Ichigo can use his Soul Search special form, or whatever. Like, you know.
So, I just had a thought.
Yeah?
If they wanted to bring Plasma Sword and rival schools into present day, and God, Power Stone the inevitable thing is that the first question people are going to ask when they see it is, okay, rollback.
Yeah.
And, that's well enough on an old 2D sprite-based game, but Rival Swords and Plasma School.
Plasma School sounds fun.
Rival School's Plasma Sword and Power Stone. I guess I could have also gone for Power School.
Yeah.
Plasma Stone. It's just magma.
So those are 3D fighting games. And what's more, Power Stone is its own weird, unique fighting game type that hasn't really had any other game of its type since.
Well, it has, but not with rollback.
Well, yeah, but the other Power Stones to come since are Grim Adventures of Billy Mandy and Shrek Super Slam.
And also Blade Battlers on the PS2, probably the Inuyasha fighting game that was on the PS2. Like there was a bunch of those. That's not actual Power Stone.
There was a One Piece one, though oddly enough, it was only 1v1.
The Bleach one was 4v4 or whatever, 4 people. There we go. It wasn't 8 people. Deadly. I don't think the PS2 could handle that.
So it could be 4-man free for all or 2v2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be weird.
And I mean, like,
I don't really know how netcode works entirely. I've seen videos explaining the mechanics of delay versus rollback.
I mean, from what I understand of how rollback netcode works, they could add rollback netcode to Plasma Sword and Power Stone and all that, since Fightgate has done that. But also, just based off of the fact that really the thing there is that you need to have an emulator. Like, you need to make it so that you can play the game while also keeping track of like the next 3 or 4 images. Up to like, I don't know how exactly it goes, but like you need to have an X amount of images that you need to be able to keep up that tries to predict the future. And then if it doesn't, then you also need to remember a couple of frames so that you can roll back to it and then start over. The reason that this is hard to do on modern hardware is because, well, it is hard to do for contemporary games to add rollback retroactively, is because those games engines are usually using all of the power to actually just make the game run, and so you can't really go, all right, so do this like 10 more times, but only showing one frame. But with games like Plasma Sword and all of those, the games came out for like the PS1, PS2 era hardware, which we should be, in theory, be able to emulate while also being able to go, hey, have this game running 4 times, and then here's this algorithm that it use which one of these games is actually live.
How similar are Rival Schools and Plasma Sword from an engine perspective?
Well, just judging from the gameplay, pretty close.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, is Rival Schools in some way just like a mechanic, engine-wise, just a more advanced Plasma Sword?
I don't think so, because both of them, like, they have the same curve with how the games function, in that the first game is, mostly there, but feels janky, and then the second game feels a lot smoother and fun to play. So, I would imagine that it would be a thing of like, all right, here we have either Rival Schools 1 or Star Gladiator. Then we build the other one on top of the of the one that we already have, and then just do that between those 2 series.
Yeah. I guess I don't have anything else to add, just to say interesting.
Yeah. I'm trying to check if there's news, but it's mostly just like, oh, here's T-Zark. Which, like, I didn't have time to check T-Zark, did you?
I only a little bit. He's T-Zark. Other than that, they also, like, Here's the little girl, Hayate or whatever.
Hotaru.
Hotaru. Which I didn't even bother to watch that because I'm fine with her. But she's one of those characters that is like very much in the category of not for me. Glad she's there for somebody else, but not my character.
And then the other stuff that I'm seeing is just like, all right, here, people speculating on the release date for the Marvel collection, and like
Soon,
Ramble
please.
Fantasy Versus updates. Like, okay, they released a patch. Woohoo, you know?
Yeah, Marvel in particular. That's one we still don't have a release date, right?
I don't think so. It just says 2024, more or less.
Well, one assumes it's coming out before Christmas, but other than that, I mean, it's kind of an awkward thing of like, there's not really much of a hype cycle to go through because you already know they've pretty well already announced everything we're getting.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're getting all the games. They're coming with better training, with good training modes. They're coming with these cool little extras of art and music. And also for all the ones that had secret characters, we're going to make it where the secret characters are more easy to access. Okay, that's all very cool stuff. And that's pretty well, the whole load has been blown, and I understand them not bothering to hide anything because it doesn't really need to be marketed too much on a certain level. The collection markets itself. But nonetheless, it does result in this awkward thing of like, I follow them on Twitter. I follow Marvel vs. Capcom on Twitter. And every week it's just being like, hey, so Marvel vs. Capcom 1 is a game that introduced assists. Isn't that cool? Like, yeah. I thought we knew that.
It's very cool. Let's get on with it.
Actually, Charlie Adam, it started things. Yes, that is accurate. It did. Thank you.
I'm just hoping that in the line of the Punisher they just keep at like every week, or not every week, but every like whatchamacallit, whatever, like video games event, they just announce another game that's been added into the collection actually. So they're like, all right, here's fucking Captain Commando. You can play Captain Commando in the Marvel collection now. Fucking.
Well, you always could in VC2.
But I mean the game Captain Commando, not the character.
Oh, okay, yeah, there you go.
Captain Commando was in MVC1.
Was he?
Yes.
I can never keep straight which ones got introduced in 2 and which ones were there in 1. Strider. I know Strider was in MVC1. There you go.
Yeah, Strider, Jin Saotome, Venom. I think he was an MVC1 edition.
You're just making things up now.
MVC2 actually had so few. I mean, of course, by now it's famous that MVC2 was operating on like no budget. But we're the only new characters in MVC2. Amingo, Ruby Heart, or Love Heart, whatever she is. Sanson, Hayato, Cable, Marrow, and Servbot.
I think Marrow was in MVC1 too. But
no, she wasn't. She was definitely a new introduction in MVC2. Because people at the time, when MVC2 was a more disliked game, one of the many points that they disliked was like, okay, we get like only like 5 new characters and one of them's fucking Marrow. Seriously?
But yeah, other than that, I think those were the only new characters. Well, there's some caveats there. Like Roll used to be an assist, and she wasn't first playable in 2.
Yeah, Roll's a screwy one though. Where like most of her moveset is just a copy of Mega Man's, but worse.
Yeah, I think Trombone was also first playable in 2.
That would be interesting. Cause that's kind of funny. Because in my head, I think of Trombone as one of the Marvel vs. Capcom characters.
I don't.
Or like
she
really?
To me, yeah. To me, she's just an assist because I spent the most time playing 1.
Okay, yeah, that would be a big difference maker. I don't think of 1 all that often. I think of 2 and 3. Because for me, like looking at Infinite, I have to remind myself that Trombone isn't in Infinite, and every time I was like, "What? That Trombone's not there? What do you mean she's not there?"
Yes, but most of my time with Marvel is in 1, and Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter.
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah. Like, I legit don't actually know how to play. Okay, I don't know how to play the guy, but I have experience playing the fucking joke, like, comedian character in the Japanese release.
Oh, which one was he? He was MVC1, right?
Oh, he was MVC1. He might have also been MVC2, but he was only ever in the Japanese releases, so yeah.
Yeah, that was... That's one of those funny ones where it's like, okay, so the idea was Marvel's not super huge in Japan other than Spider-Man. How do we market it in Japan? What guy was like, let's add a stand-up comedian, a real-life one? Like, I don't know. To me, that seems a bit strange. It's like, if we're going to bother getting the license of something, why would we go for a real-life person and not just go like, okay, get, I don't know, Ultraman?
Ultraman costs more.
Yeah, I mean, Ultraman would definitely cost more, but I don't know. Would there not be someone they could pull from Tatsunoko?
Tatsunoko
Not Astro Boy, because God, Astro Boy would cost a fucking fortune.
Yeah,
but...
I was about to say, like, Tatsunoko would also cost more. Like, any actual, like, Marvel equivalent would cost a lot more than random comedian man who is currently famous.
Lord knows whether that guy is even still alive.
Yeah.
Huh. Shit's weird.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right. Pink, you got anything to say?
Do I? No, I don't think so.
Well, Patty, you got anything to say for yourself?
What is your alibi, sir?
I did it, and I would do it again.
Oh no.
Understandable. Guilty, but he walks free anyways.
Yeah. Guilty, but I like him, so it's fine.
Yeah.
The way politicians face court. Anyway, yeah. I guess fighting games were then.
Oh!